Don't move to Edmonds. What? I thought you told us in your other video how wonderful Edmonds was. Well, yes, I did, but I don't want you to move to Edmonds, Washington if you can't handle these facts. This is going to be like a short cons type of video, pros and cons, because I want you to know what you're getting into. I never want you to move to someplace and then find out that it's not for you. So without further ado, let's get into it. First one here is maybe pretty obvious, but it is the cost of living. Edmonds is a nice place. A lot of people move there as their second or third home that they've bought as they've been kind of rolling up into nicer and nicer areas, nicer and nicer homes, more equity, views of the water. But that makes it very expensive. Because it's such a desirable area, it can be pricey to live there, which means that not everyone can afford it. So take a look at prices of both apartments and condos, as well as single family homes with and without a view, and see what you think. Number two is the weather. So in Edmonds, you are on the coast. You have sea breezes coming in, which can make things a little cooler, a little foggier. And also when it snows, you don't really get as much snow. So if you really like snow and you're looking forward to sledding or missing school or something like that, you're probably not going to get the flakes to stick like you would in other parts of Seattle if you're out living in Edmonds right by the water. That being said, it is a maritime climate, so it's very mild, but it does tend to be cooler primarily because of the breezes. Number three is traffic. Now, Edmonds does have a significant amount of tourist traffic and ferry traffic. They do a pretty good job of keeping the ferry traffic shunted into its own lanes so it's not running over people or clogging up the streets while people wait to get on and off the ferry. That being said, if you don't like tourists, you don't like cars sitting there, idling for an hour, usually they turn off their engines. But I've certainly seen people like park their car in the ferry line, run across the street to go get a donut, run back across the street to go back to their car. So that's something to be aware of. In addition to the commute to get into downtown Seattle, you have to do, since you're on the coast, a fair amount of driving to get into the middle of the land mass where I-5 is located, and then zip down to Seattle. If you're trying to get to Bellevue, you're actually pretty far away. The good news for commuters to the Seattle area is that there is a train that runs twice in the morning and twice in the evening to get you down to Seattle and back again using public transportation. It's very direct. Let's talk about bars and nightlife. There is none. That's something of an exaggeration, but this is definitely a quieter part of town. There is not a lot to do. There might be things like the symphony or the play or a few bar and grill type of restaurants that are going to be open later, but this is not your nightclub, nightlife, go out and meet a lot of people at the bars type of neighborhood. In terms of cultural diversity, there is not as much here in Edmonds as there is in other parts of Seattle. So historically, when different people were moving to Seattle, different ethnic groups and that type of a thing, a lot of times they would concentrate in different areas in different parts of town. As a real estate agent, I really should tread lightly here. I don't want to say certain areas are for certain types of people, but if you're very interested in having a diverse community, you might not find as much diversity in Edmonds as you would in other locations. You love to shop? Well, Edmonds may or may not be for you. Edmonds actually does a really good job of having a lot of very cute, small mom and pop type of stores down by the marina, by the ferry, so that you can walk around and have, I always call it sort of a European shopping experience. There are fountains and you can go talk to the photographer who's selling, pictures. You can go talk to the gem store and choose, some favorite rocks to take home with you. Those types of things are there, but it's not the place where you're going to find as many big box stores. Now, don't get me wrong. They do have big grocery stores, they have McDonald's and those types of things, but they tend to be a little bit further out. They're not in the bowl quite as much. They're up closer to Aurora and the Linwood part of Edmonds. So if you're really looking into the down by the water Edmonds community, you're not going to find those types of things. But if they're important to your lifestyle, modern conveniences are, you're going to have to go a little bit up and out of the bowl into Linwood or Seattle to get access to, the Home Depot, the movie theater, those types of things. If you don't like the outdoors, Edmonds is probably not for you. Number one, you're on the beach and there is a great walking trail there. There's an outdoor dog park. The dogs can actually swim in the ocean. And there's sailing, crabbing, fishing, all those types of things on the water. And then there are some really beautiful forest parks with Yost Park is one of them, with big trees. You can see where the loggers came through 100 years ago and cut down some of the big ones. The little ones that they left are still growing and getting quite big themselves. So it's really a beautiful place to spend time outdoors. If you hate the outdoors, you're going to find a lot of people kind of looking up at you with that eyebrow raising. What's going on? Because we do here in the Pacific Northwest spend a lot of time outdoors. It's kind of one of our cultural values is really this. Get out into the woods, go hike, go enjoy yourself outside. We have such a great climate for it. The area really attracts a lot of people for whom that's an important interest. And finally, the distance from the airport. We are pretty far away from the big airport. If you're going to drive into SeaTac, if you travel a lot, that's probably going to be at least a 1-hour trip on most days, depending on traffic. I mean, if you're flying out at 1 a.m. in the morning, you could probably get there faster. But if you're a frequent flyer, frequent traveler, just bear in mind that you are going to be facing a significant commute to get to the airport. Well, I hope this was fun. I tried to make it a little bit amusing and a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Obviously, Edmonds is a great place to live, but there are people for whom it may not be a good fit, and I want you to know that going in. I'm a real estate agent, and I kind of consider myself a lifestyle matchmaker. You tell me what kind of lifestyle you want, how you spend your time, what you like to do, and I'm going to help put you into the communities that I think will be a good fit for you. Part of the reason I do these videos is to help you with that research process, but I can't do everything remotely without meeting you. So if you are moving to the area, thinking of buying a home here, I would be happy to help. My name is Cressey, and I am a real estate agent. This is exactly what I do. I grew up in the area, and I love helping people who are relocating to Seattle. So if you're looking to find your first home or need help selling a property, you can reach out to me at my website, homeproassociates.com. Otherwise, keep watching, and I'll see you on the next video.